Have you ever thought about what makes a city explode? I'm talking about Lagos, Nigeria. It's growing so incredibly fast, it's practically a living thing, pulling in thousands of people every single day. So what turns a city into a magnet on this kind of scale? Well, in this explainer, we're going to unpack the powerful forces that are shaping one of the world's truly great megacities.
Right, so what is it about Lagos that makes it such a powerful magnet? It's not a simple answer. It's this really complex story, a mix of hope and hardship. It's just as much about what people are running from as what they're running towards.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, there are two key ideas we need to talk about: push and pull factors. It's pretty straightforward, really. Push factors are all the negative things that, push people to leave where they are. And pull factors, those are the positive things, the attractions of a new place that pull them in. This simple push and pull dynamic, that's the engine driving the incredible growth we see in Lagos.
All right, here's the plan. We're going to kick things off by looking at the powerful pull factors, what draws people in. We'll start with the economic side of things, then move on to the social perks. After that, we'll flip the script and look at the push factors, the reasons people feel they have to leave. And to wrap it all up, we'll see how this constant push and pull is shaping the future of Lagos. So, before we dive into the nitty-gritty, let's just take a moment to appreciate how powerful this magnetic force really is. I mean, Lagos isn't just the biggest city in Nigeria. It's become this symbol of ambition, a real beacon for millions of people. But this magnetism isn't just magic, right? It's built on some very real promises. And let's start with the biggest one of them all: money.
Which brings us perfectly to our second section, the economic pull. Look, for most people, the decision to pack up and move, it really boils down to one thing: opportunity. The promise of a job, maybe starting a business, or just earning a better wage. That's a powerful, powerful lure. And Lagos, it offers that promise in spades.
I mean, just look at the sheer variety of work you can find there. Lagos is the economic heart of Nigeria, so it's always building. You've got these massive construction projects like Eco-Atlantic, which means tons of jobs. It's the hub for banking, government departments, and manufacturing. But that's not all. It also has two huge ports, a thriving fishing industry, and, get this, it's the home of the Nollywood film scene, which is recognized all over the world. This incredible diversity of jobs, that's absolutely key.
But, okay, what if you can't get one of those formal tax jobs in a bank or a factory? Well, this is where something called the informal economy becomes a total game changer. We're talking about millions of people making a living by selling things on the street or collecting waste to recycle. Sure, it's not a corporate salary, but it is an absolutely vital economic foothold. It gives people a chance to survive and maybe even build something from scratch.
All right, let's move on to Section 3. Because look, a steady paycheck is one thing, but people are also pulled to Lagos for something more. They're searching for a better quality of life. These are what we call social pull factors. And believe me, for families, these can be just as powerful as any job offer.
Just take a look at education, for example. The difference is staggering. In Lagos, you've got about 68% of people with a secondary education. Now compare that to some rural areas in the north, where a shocking 40% of kids don't even go to primary school. Think about that. If you're a parent who wants a better future for your children, that one statistic right there is a massive, massive pull factor.
And it goes way beyond just education. We're talking about access to essential services that, frankly, many of us take for granted. Things like more hospitals with better medicine, electricity that you can actually rely on for your home or your business, clean, safe water coming right out of a tap from a treatment plant, more schools, more universities. These aren't luxuries. This is a fundamental step up in health, safety, and just day-to-day life.
So when you put all of that together, the better schools, the healthcare, the reliable power, the clean water, what does it all really add up to? It adds up to a chance for the next generation to succeed, for your kids to have a better life than you did. And honestly, that is one of the most powerful reasons for moving that you'll find anywhere on Earth.
Okay, so that covers all the reasons people are pulled to Lagos. Now for Section 4, we're going to flip the coin and look at the other side, the push factors. What are those really difficult, sometimes even dangerous conditions that basically force people to pack up and leave their homes for the city? And the contrast here is just wow, it's so stark. For so many people in rural areas, the reality is backbreaking farm work for very low pay, not enough land to go around, and serious pollution. The idea of Lagos, on the other hand, is the total opposite, a city just brimming with opportunity. That huge gap between reality and perception, that creates an incredibly powerful push.
So let's break down those push factors a bit more. First off, outside of farming, there just aren't many jobs in a lot of rural areas. Simple as that. Then you have population growth, which means land is getting harder and harder to come by. And in places like the Niger Delta, the oil industry has led to some major pollution, which has damaged farms and the environment. All these pressures combined make staying where you are a real challenge.
And on top of all of that, there's the critical issue of insecurity. You've got political unrest and the presence of groups like Boko Haram, particularly in the north of Nigeria. This creates an environment of fear and instability that's, well, it's hard to live with. For so many people, leaving isn't just about finding a better life anymore. It's literally about survival.
And all of this brings us to our final section, where we're going to put all the pieces together. You see, the incredible growth of Lagos isn't just some random thing that's happening. It's the direct result of this powerful, dynamic interplay. That forceful push away from hardship in the countryside, and that almost irresistible pull towards hope in the city. So here you have it, all laid out side by side. On one side, the push factors, insecurity, not enough jobs, low pay, and pollution. And on the other, the pull factors, huge economic opportunities, better social services, and access to good education and healthcare. It's this two-sided equation, this push and pull, that is fueling one of the fastest, most massive urban expansions happening anywhere on the planet.
So, in the end, Lagos is a city built on this powerful combination of hope and hardship. It's a real testament to the human drive for a better life. But as millions more continue to arrive, you have to ask, what happens next? How does a megacity like this cope with all that pressure? And what does the future really hold for every single person who calls it home?